Hello students, this is Mrs. Miller, and the purpose of this video is to walk you through our word work assignment for the story that we're reading, Exploring the Titanic. Now this school year, we're not going to just memorize the meaning of certain words. What we're going to do is we're going to learn how to study words and break words down into their word parts. Then, as we're learning the meaning of more word parts, we're going to be able to expand our vocabulary. Before you begin, you need to have this paper in front of you. It says Word Work with Mrs. Miller from Exploring the Titanic, and there are 5 pages. The first page says Titanic. The second page says Accommodations. The third page is Novelty. The fourth page is Adjoining. And the final page is Chronological. If you do not have these papers, please go ahead and push pause on the video and get them. Now that you have the papers that you need, let's go ahead and begin. Let's see how the words are used in context. On April 14, 1912, passengers were thrilled to be on the Titanic. This huge ship had elegant first-class accommodations that could house up to 735 passengers. One of the features was adjoining rooms that allowed families to stay close together. Other accommodations included magnificent suites designed with large beds and elegant seating areas, squash courts, and a fancy dining room. The travelers enjoyed the novelty of the ship's first voyage. No one thought that it would hit an iceberg and die a watery death. Exploring the Titanic by Robert D. Ballard chronicles the journey of the Titanic. He uses primary sources, such as accounts of people who were actually on the ship, to list the events in chronological order. Now let's study each of our words. We can figure out the meaning of a word by defining the base word. Let's take a look at the word Titanic. You can see here that the base word is Titan. And a Titan, if you think about Greek mythology, the Titans were a race of giants. So I want you to think about what you know about giants. Now let's take a look at the word Titanic again. Can you see the word Titan in the word Titanic? The word Titanic means of enormous size, strength, and power. So I can see how the meaning of the word Titanic is related to the meaning of the word Titan. So based on what you know about the word part and the definition of the word part and then the definition of the word Titanic, why do you think that this ship was named the Titanic? Let's go ahead and fill in. So you saw that the base word for Titanic was Titan, so go ahead and fill that in on your sheet. In Greek mythology, the Titans were a race of giants, so that's what you should have filled in here for meaning. Then I asked you the question, what do you know about giants? I did not put my answer because I want to know what your thoughts are. So you can go ahead and fill this in. I know that giants are, and fill in your answer. Up here, I want you to highlight the base word. So the base word is Titan, and so I went ahead and highlighted it right there, just like that. And the word Titanic means of enormous size, strength, and power. So based on what you know, I asked you, why was the ship named the Titanic? So you're going to put your answer right here in this box. The ship was named Titanic because, and then go ahead and fill in your answer. I would also like for you to tell me a synonym for the word Titanic as well as an antonym. Now, a synonym is a word that means the same thing, and an antonym is a word that has the opposite meaning. If you're having trouble coming up with a synonym and antonym right off the top of your head, you can go ahead and go to the website dictionary.com, and this is the page that's going to pop up. You can click on the word thesaurus, and then you can type in the word for what you're trying to find a synonym. And then go ahead and click Enter. Several synonyms come up, and you can pick one that you are familiar with. And once you pick a word that you're familiar with, then it will be very easy to come up with an antonym. Let's take a look at our second word. Our second word is accommodations, and the base word is accommodate. To accommodate means to provide or supply. Now, can you see the base word within the larger word? And there it is right there, accommodate. Now, I notice that the word accommodate has an E, but when I have accommodations, there isn't an E there. That's because in the English language, sometimes when we add endings to words, we drop the last letter. So that's why there isn't an E right here in the base word. Accommodations means the act of providing or supplying, often dealing with food and lodging. It's not always just food and lodging, but it often is referring to those things. Now let's look at some other words that have the base word, accommodate. So here's the word accommodated, accommodates, and accommodating. So you can see right here that when we add the D and the S, we keep the E, but when adding ing, we drop the E, and then when we added IONS, we also drop the E. So I want you to think about, what does the statement mean? There were not enough accommodations for people on the ship. Therefore, a lot of people died. Please go ahead and push pause on this video and fill in your WordWork graphic organizer. Don't forget to add a synonym for accommodations and an antonym. Let's take a look at our third word. Our third word is novelty, and the base word is novel. Now this is not novel in the form of a book. In this instance, novel means of a new kind, different from anything seen or done before. Now can you see the base word and the larger word? There it is. There's the word novel and the word novelty. And the meaning of novelty is the state or quality of being new or unique. So you can very easily see how the meaning of the base word is related to the meaning of the big word. Let's look at another word that has this word part. I see the word novice. Now, the spelling is a little different, and that's okay because that happens sometimes when the form of a word is changed. But a novice is somebody who is new at something. So that's another word that we're able to learn. And so my question to you is, why was a trip on the Titanic considered a novelty? Based on what you know about the Titanic, why was a trip on the Titanic considered a novelty? Go ahead and push pause on the video and fill in your WordWork with Mrs. Miller graphic organizer. Now, sometimes we can figure out the meaning of a word by breaking the word down into parts and defining each part. This goes a little bit beyond just looking at the base word. Sometimes we can look for prefixes and suffixes, and sometimes there are some root words in there that we are able to define. So let's take a look at our word adjoining. I see a prefix here, which is AD, plus the base word, which is join, and the suffix ing. We're going to break all of this down so that we can see how the word adjoining is put together. First thing, add means to or toward. The base word join means to put together. And when we have that suffix ing, it changes a verb to the present tense. If the word is a verb, it changes the word to present tense. Now, can you see the word parts in the larger word? And so adjoining is being in contact at some point or line, located next to another, or bordering. So I've put something together, and that's what it means to have something that is adjoining. They're in contact at some point. Now let's look at some other words that have these word parts. For add, I see the word addition, adjunct, and additional. So these all have the same prefix. Other words that have the word join, the base word join, are jointly, joined, and joint. And other word parts that have the suffix ing are singing, talking, and reading. So you can see how adding this to the end of a word makes it present tense. My question to you is this: what does this statement mean? Jack Thayer and his parents were in adjoining rooms. Please go ahead and push pause on the video and complete your word work with Mrs. Miller graphic organizer. Let's take a look at our final word. Our final word is chronological. We can break this down into the individual parts as well. So instead of a prefix, I have a root word, and the root here is chrono. The base word is logic, and the suffix is al. So chrono simply means time. Logic means in a way that makes sense. And the suffix al means having the characteristics of. So let's go ahead and look at the smaller parts within the larger word. And of course, the word chronological means something dealing with time and making sense. And the meaning of chronological is arranged in the order of time. Let's take a look at some other words that have these word parts. Let's start with chrono. I see chronographer, chronologically, chronographic, and chronicle. All of those words are dealing with time. Let's take a look at the base word logic. I see the word logically and logicism. Those are dealing with logic, things that make sense. And the suffix al, I see additional, accidental, and alphabetical. Now here's my question to you. Why did the author, Robert D. Ballard, use the chronological text structure when writing Exploring the Titanic? I would like for you to think about that question and then go ahead and fill in your word work graphic organizer.